What is the sensitive period for tiny details and small objects? Sensitive periods are critical to a child's development, and they inform many Montessori practices. Understanding sensitive periods can support parenting, caregiving, and educating in many positive ways. Sensitive periods occur exclusively during the first plane of development from birth to 6 years of age. They are periods of time when a child has a heightened ability to develop a skill or to acquire knowledge quickly and with ease. They can be thought of as explosions in a child's development that will serve as the foundation for characteristics that they will carry with them for the rest of their lives. Others may consider them a form of compulsion, where a child becomes obsessed with acquiring a specific skill or gaining new knowledge. For instance, when a child becomes so interested in learning to pull themselves upright and continues to attempt to do so over and over again, so much so that they skip their naps in order to continue practicing this skill without fatigue. Sensitive periods can help us as adults to understand a child's interests and to follow the child as we introduce activities that align with those interests and further promote brain development through the creation of a carefully prepared environment. Each of these sensitive periods provide us with a unique opportunity to greatly influence a child's growth and development. Some sensitive periods are so noticeable that even those unfamiliar with the Montessori method would be able to pick them out. For instance, the Montessori sensitive period for movement in the form of walking occurs between 12 to 15 months and is easily recognizable. Recognizing other sensitive periods in a child's development might be easier than you think as well. Have you ever wondered why a child wants to repeat the same song or story what seems like a million times? It might seem unnecessary to us as adults, but these are classic symptoms of sensitivity. The repetition is never tiring for the child, and they seem to find great joy and peace in what they're doing. They have a high tolerance for failure within this repetition, exerting meaningful effort. You might also observe sensitive periods by watching for a restful and tranquil state that develops at the culmination of the activity after much intense concentration and repetition. Other characteristics of sensitive periods include mimicking and compulsive or obsessive behaviors. Interrupting a child while they are in the middle of an intense sensitive period can result in a powerful emotional response, such as a tantrum. Break a routine that a child is attempting to master and understand, like getting dressed, a bath time or bedtime routine, and some children might emotionally fall apart. The terrible twos, for example, are often an exaggerated reaction to a small disruption in order that might not even be perceived by adults. This is because the child is likely in a sensitive period for learning, and their work is being interrupted. Their sense of order has been disrupted. Being attuned to these moments of strong emotional response can also help us as adults to identify a child's sensibilities. Sensitive periods manifest themselves in two very distinct ways. The first is positive and the second is negative. Signs that a positive manifestation is occurring include intense focus, joy, and tremendous activity. These are signs that a child's needs are being met by the environment and that they are able to explore their interests fully. In a negative manifestation, however, the child's environment does not provide them with what they need to develop a certain sensitive period. This can often be very frustrating for a young child, causing them to experience big feelings. It's important to know that there is no set timeline of when sensitive periods occur within the plane of development within which they exist, or how long they might last. The timing of these sensitive periods is unique to each and every child. The end of a sensitive period should be recognizable through observation, as a child will become disinterested in an activity or material and will grow tired of engaging in the task. Sensitive periods are also transitive states. Once the aim of a particular sensibility is accomplished, the period disappears. Sensitive periods are never relived or regained. They do not occur in a specific order, and a child may experience multiple sensibilities at once. It is important to mention that if a sensitive period is missed, This does not mean that the child will not master that skill or gain that knowledge. It simply means that it may involve less joy and require more time or effort on the child's part to reach mastery, similar to that which is required of an adult attempting to learn a second language. Dr. Maria Montessori stated that when the sensitive period has disappeared, intellectual victories are reported through reasoning processes, voluntary efforts, and the toil of research. And from the torpor of indifference is born the weariness of labor. Between the period of 1 to 3 years, children often become fascinated with tiny details and small objects. This period helps a child develop their concentration. It can also integrate other sensibilities, such as the development of fine motor skills, when using a pincer grasp to pick up tiny objects, or when better understanding a child's sense of order. To encourage and promote this sensitive period for tiny details, adults should create a prepared environment in the home or in the classroom with beautiful details such as artwork, flowers, and handmade items. Ensure that these beautiful details are visible at the child's level for them to enjoy. Another great idea is to incorporate a miniature plant or plants into the environment so that children can watch it grow and change every day. Try going on a child-led nature walk and allowing the child to stop and watch for small bugs or to collect items like rocks, twigs, sticks, and acorns. There are also many Montessori activities that include the use of small objects. One example is having the child match animal figurines. Another is the tiniest cube in the pink tower. Later, these objects can be used to foster a child-sensitive period for order by matching the animal figurines to a card and a picture of the animal. Dr. Maria Montessori reminds us, the sensitive period, it comes for a moment, but its benefits last for a lifetime. For parents, caregivers, and educators who are practicing Montessori, understanding these sensitive periods can not only help set up children for success, but can also make our lives easier by helping children remain engaged and joyful in their activity. Since most babies and toddlers are often unable to communicate their needs or innate interests during these first 3 years of life, it is our job as adults to educate ourselves and to help support them. By knowing about these sensitive periods, we as the adult can begin to create a Montessori environment that is tailored to each child's individual needs and interests, helping the children to refine their skills and to develop knowledge during an incredibly crucial period in their lives. We'd love for you to share with us in the comments an example of the sensitive period for tiny details and small objects that you've observed and how you've prepared the environment and followed the child with this interest. And remember, we have lots of other great videos, so make sure you've subscribed to our channel and are following along on all of our social media platforms. Until next time, have a wonderful day.